And we're live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Overlay Fantasy Sports fans? Matthew Bellman, Ryan Kostrowski here with the DFS 5-pack. Ready to give our first thoughts on the large progressive jackpots at Overlay for week 2 of the NFL. Don't know how everybody did week 1, obviously, because I haven't checked in with all of you. I think you were like me, though, fell just outside of the money in the progressive jackpots. Was able to, quad or 5 times up on the 5-pick shootouts, though, so that was nice.
I actually did cash in the progressive shootout.
Nice.
Yes, I did. It was my first cash in a while, so got my count up a little bit. $22 won 180, so it was my best. I did better on Overlay than anywhere else over the weekend. We'll take it. I'm excited to break it down this weekend.
It's an odd day, week 1, with Jacobs and Adams going absolutely ham at high ownership, so it definitely skewed the line in DraftKings and FanDuel players, so Overlay was the place to be.
That's a great part about Overlay. Like, when I didn't have Jacobs, when I didn't have Adams really, and I knew they were great plays, you can only play so many guys, I knew I was screwed. At least I wasn't screwed on Overlay.
It's a good point. There was a lot of great plays this weekend, and Adams and Jacobs just happened to go ham for a lot of people. So, like a lot of you guys, my best lineups were the Lions with Adams and Jacobs, but not every one of them had them. So it's not much of an issue at Overlay. We mentioned it on the baseball broadcast today, but for those of you who don't watch that and are sticking to Overlay or maybe just paying attention to NBA and things like that, we are running a new cross promotion with the guys at Overlay. The way that it works, and this can go for current Overlay customers or brand new Overlay customers. If you go out there and make a deposit, you need to screenshot it and send it to me on my email, which is listed below, tweet it to me, Facebook, whatever. A $50 deposit, though, and we will give you 2 free weeks of our services at the DFS 5-pack. A $100 deposit is going to be a full month. A $500 deposit for you big ballers. We'll give you an annual membership to our services. And a $1,000 deposit would get you a full lifetime membership to the DFS 5-pack. You got to play that money, though. You can't just deposit and withdraw. We'll know, they'll know, and then it won't work for everybody.
Yeah, we're not going to let you play the system like that.
None of these sites do.
Yeah, you can't really beat that deal, though. If you're thinking about joining the 5-pack, if you're thinking about, joining Overlay, depositing some money, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Put $1,000 on Overlay, double your money, and basically you're going to now be up $1,000 and get a full lifetime membership. And that's the only way this can work.
And then you'll win more money because you'll have a lifetime membership.
Exactly. Like, just who doesn't want to be rich?
Right.
All right, man, let's start it off. Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I love Patrick Mahomes. You know I love Patrick Mahomes, but this one's, I wouldn't say it's easy because Mahomes can go ham on anybody on any given day, but give me Lamar Jackson here.
Yeah, give me Lamar. Yeah, I mean, he's just a better fantasy quarterback because of his running.
I will say this one's easy from one perspective. The hard part is picking against Mahomes sucks because he's amazing and the Chiefs are amazing, and you never want to pick against Patrick Mahomes. However, Lamar Jackson gets a better matchup. His legs give him such a high floor. He does not have Clyde Edwards-Helaire just absolutely chewing up yardage. Also, the Chargers play slow, so that's just fewer, time on the field for Patrick Mahomes. So I will actually pick this one, even though it pains me to ever pick against Patrick Mahomes, who, is one of my favorite players to ever walk the face of the earth.
Yes, I also think that, and if I had to, Mahomes is the better NFL quarterback than Lamar Jackson. I think that everyone would agree with that. But I think Jackson is the slightly better fantasy quarterback. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, I would agree with that. No question.
Yeah. So it's all it is, and he's in a slightly better matchup. I love your point about the Chargers playing slow. I was going to mention that, so sign me up.
All right, as much as I will pick this one, this next pick is probably the last one that I want to pick, which is Dak Prescott against Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers was awesome week 1. As a Packer fan, I love that. It was a good matchup against Minnesota and the rookie cornerbacks, but Detroit ain't much better than that, or may not even actually be worse than that, so it's a good spot for him. Prescott gets the Falcons. These are 2 guys wildly in play across the industry. I absolutely do not want to pick this one. Gun to head, I'm going to go Dak Prescott this week. I'm going to pivot that Rodgers and the Packers run the ball in and Prescott throws it this weekend, but there's very little rhyme or reason to it. I would avoid this one.
I'll go Dak Prescott also. I don't dislike it as much as you do, but it's not high on my list.
Because both spots are so good. I think it honestly comes down to who throws touchdown passes or runs them in, or whose running backs gets in the end zone.
Sorry, I had to sneeze. You're 100% right.
All right, next up, Josh Allen versus Matt Ryan. Give me Josh Allen. The rushing points right here is what has me with Josh Allen because he runs the ball a lot. It seems like he runs in a touchdown almost every single week. He's going to lead this team in rushing touchdowns more than likely. Love Matt Ryan. Don't get me wrong. It's not a terrible spot for him or anything like that. I just think Josh Allen against Miami. We just saw Cam go for, I think, like 75-2 on the floor.
You're definitely a bigger Josh Allen fan than I am, but
True.
I still are in this spot, though. I mean, Matt Ryan's fine. I like Matt Ryan in his own right, but I'm with you. Give me Allen here with the rushing ability.
All right, next up, Tom Brady versus Big Ben Roethlisberger. I want to give props to Roethlisberger for showing steady improvement throughout that game on Monday night, but a short week. I trust Denver's defense way more than I trust Carolina, who may have, if not the worst, one of the worst defenses in football. I think this is a bounce-back week for Brady and the guys. Give me Brady here.
Yeah, give me Brady also, although I don't mind Big Ben. First home game in forever. He's always been better at home. I'm not, dying to pick this one.
No, it won't be at the top for me. All right, so here's an interesting one. Watson against Baltimore or Stafford against Green Bay. I haven't checked on this yet. Any idea if Galladay's a go this week?
I'm not sure.
That has a lot to do with this one for me. Because if Galladay is out, Stafford just doesn't have the weapons that he normally does, and it's a lot easier to go Watson. And I think Baltimore's defense is a step up on Green Bay's, even though I like our defense. But like you saw last week against Kansas City, Watson's primed for some junk time points in this one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I actually think Houston could keep this game close. And I'm looking up Kenny Galladay now. I'm not sure whether he's going to play or not.
He's probably questionable. I mean, so I don't know if we're going to get any good response right now.
I'm going to go Watson here. Just a better fantasy quarterback. I don't love the spot Stafford's into either. I think Houston keeps this game competitive. Give me Watson.
All right. I'm going to wait on the Galladay news, but my gut is still Watson by hair on this one either way.
For sure.
All right. Kyler Murray versus Carson Wentz. I'm going to take Murray. He's shown an absolute desire to run the ball last week. And, Washington has a nice defensive front, but those legs will be the neutralizer of that. I just think Kyler Murray is a better fantasy quarterback than Carson Wentz right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's even close. You got to go Murray here. I expect that Eagles-Rams game to be competitive and kind of a slower paced game personally.
Okay. Tannehill versus Kirk Cousins. I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins right here. I'm going to assume that Tennessee runs the ball very effectively, and I don't know how much Tannehill needs to do here. Whereas I think the Minnesota-Indianapolis game has some points, and I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins.
Okay, I'll ride with you there. This is a tight one for me. Oh, I hate Cousins, but
who doesn't?
I'm going to go Tannehill.
All right, man. Phillip Rivers versus Daniel Jones. Even in the loss, I liked what I saw from Phillip Rivers last week. I did not like what I saw from Minnesota and these young cornerbacks who were awful. Give me Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, give me Rivers here.
At Chicago is not an easy place to play. Now, Daniel Jones has got big upside any given week, but we kind of broke down his performances on the primetime videos the other day. He's very good against bad teams. The problem is he is absolutely handcuffed by that atrocious offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Daniel Jones versus Jared Goff. I prefer Rivers over Jones than either that's next to.
Rivers. Yeah, I agree with that. I like Rivers over Jones more than either of the other ones.
All right, Gardner Minchu versus Teddy Bridgewater. This is not one I want to pick. This is going to be near the bottom of my list. Gun to head, give me Bridgewater, but this is really bottom of the list for me.
Yeah, give me Bridgewater here. Definitely agree. Bottom of the barrel, though.
All right, Trubisky versus Drew Lock.
Easy.
Trubisky, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I need to sneezy. Anything you can rhyme with that. Young Jeezy, you name it. Give me Trubisky.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you 100% there.
This is top of my list. In fact, I'm going to go over to the matchup shop on Overlay after this and see if I can get this one around even money, and I'll go hard on this one. I like Trubisky against the Giants. Pittsburgh's defense can ball, man. They are get after people.
Mm-hmm. I'll just say, though, it seems very obvious on paper, and I would pick this, but you know how things can work out just in the sense of, the Bears can run in a couple touchdowns. And even if the Steelers stomp Denver, all of a sudden, if they're down late, he throws a couple in. I mean, I'm just saying to the masses out there, I know you know that.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you bet on things if it was just printing money.
Okay.
Obviously,
Yes.
there's gonna be some issues right there. But that being said, you got to put your money in where you think it's best, and I think this is a good place to put it. My biggest hesitation on going bigger on anything right now in the NFL is the preponderance of injuries we saw week 1. It's such a injury risk in the NFL, and we saw a lot of people going down, no preseason games or anything like that. That's my bigger hesitation on going anything big on the NFL in the current moment.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I don't disagree with that point at all. I think it's very savvy.
That's one of the things, your favorite sport at DFS is baseball. And yes, a pitcher can leave early. I know it happened to you the other day where you had 2 pitchers leave early on one slate. It's just so much more rare.
Yeah, it is rare. It's very unpredictable as far as what's going to happen, but usually your players play if they're in the lineup.
Absolutely. All right. Tyrod Taylor versus Ryan Fitzpatrick. Oh, crikey. Fitzpatrick has now played for all 32 teams. And I literally looked at this one and thought he was playing for Buffalo against Miami for about 2 seconds. But no, it's Fitzpatrick for Miami against Buffalo, Tyrod against Kansas City. I'm going to give it to Tyrod and say he just does enough with his legs as they play from behind.
Tyrod's what's his name? Peraza for me in baseball. I won't pick him. Fitzpatrick.
All right, man. I got that. Sam Darnold against San Francisco or Haskins against Arizona. These are 2 guys that I do not like from a fantasy perspective, but I'll pick on Arizona all day long. Jets about to be chewed up by San Fran.
Yeah, definitely give me Haskins here. I mean, it's not about that Haskins is a great fantasy quarterback. It's just that he's better than Darnold here.
All right, Saquon at Chicago or Zeke against Atlanta. This is kind of like the top one up top for me. I think Saquon is still better than Ezekiel Elliott, but the situation for Saquon is so much harder with that offensive line against a much better defense versus Zeke with that line against Atlanta. Give me Zeke.
Yeah, got to be Zeke. They're also close in talent, I think.
Yeah, Zeke's really good.
I'm a huge Saquon fan too, and I think Saquon's better, but I also respect Zeke.
Zeke also, he falls forward, whereas Saquon does take a lot of losses. His explosive plays are a thing of beauty, but he takes a lot of bad runs because a lot of that has to do with the offensive line. I would love to watch Saquon in Zeke's spot or something like that.
But Zeke, to your point, Zeke, get out, Pollock, gone.
Nice.
Zeke is a very, very upper echelon top 5 running back for sure. He's not quite as explosive as Saquon, but it's much more consistent.
Ooh, top 5 running back. That's a conversation for another video, but Saquon, Zeke, Derrick Henry. Who are your top 3 then? Who are you kicking out?
I think those 3 that you just McCaffrey's up there, but it really depends on what you're looking for in a running back. I think my top 4 are those 4 right there: McCaffrey, Saquon, Henry, and Zeke.
I would agree. That's probably the top 4.
I mean, what about Dalvin Cook though?
Yeah, and what about Nick Chubb?
Yeah,
those guys are better than Chubb, but I like Chubb a lot too.
Yes.
Good conversation. We'll continue this one later on. All right, man. We're both going to go Zeke right here. Devontae Adams against Detroit. Hopkins against Washington. I'm going to go Devontae Adams. I like both of these guys. Both of them target monsters last week. I just have less respect for Detroit's defense than I do for Washington's defense.
This is a good one. Give me Adams too, but close.
Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook. I don't know. I think they're going to make a case to get Henry in the end zone twice this week. Give me Henry by an eyelash.
Yeah, I could see everyone picking Henry, which makes me think Cook could be sneaky here.
We've talked about this at ends, and we'll do it again. I agree with you. I think more people go Henry than Cook. And if you have a big feeling on Cook this week, that could be the one difference you need to make.
We didn't really talk about Cook that much, but he's definitely in play also, I think.
Yeah, he's good. I hate the Vikings, but I am a Dalvin Cook fan.
Yes.
All right. Tyree Kale versus Julio Jones. This is another one of these ones. I'll pick Julio. I'll pick Julio with confidence, but I hate picking against Tyree Kale because, this guy takes one play and he's there.
Yeah, it's always tough to pick against Tyreek Hill, but I will go Julio as well.
All right, Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus Aaron Jones. CEH, I'll definitely take him. He's definitely the bell cow right here. I mean, the backup running back for Kansas City is no good. Green Bay's got a couple viable running backs.
Yeah, I'll take Clyde.
He wasn't even incorporated in the passing game last week. Let's see about this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Phelan versus Travis Kelsey. I don't like picking against Kelsey either, but I'm going to go with Phelan. I just expect there to be some good points right here. And as great as Kelsey is, Phelan is way more needed by his team.
This is true. I agree, man. Another one we agree with.
All right, Calvin Ridley versus Cooper Kupp. Ridley.
Yeah, Ridley for sure. He looks good too.
Yeah, straight up recency bias. Cooper Kupp has been less than impressive going back to a few weeks towards the end of last year. All right, Juju versus Stephon Diggs. This is one that I do not want to pick. I like both guys this week, so this is a total coin flip to me. Whatever you say, I'm just going to say the opposite to disagree with you for once in Squavio.
I think I like Juju a lot here. I mean, listen, I think Diggs is fine, but I like Juju a lot in this spot, and I will take him over Diggs.
Diggs it is then. I think I like the spot better for Diggs. I like Juju's chemistry with his quarterback, so this is why it's a total toss-up to me. One guy gets to go up against Miami. The other guy, I respect Denver's defense, but this is like bottom of the list for me.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Eckler versus Mostert. I was really discouraged by Austin Eckler, and I might regret this, but Mostert looks like he's getting the lion's share of the touches for San Francisco, and I do not respect the Jets in the slightest.
So I like Mostert, but I'm going to go back to Eckler, and I was hearing good things about him. I already mentioned to you that I think he could be a bounce back, and the points I heard mentioned were that the Chiefs were in a game script in which they were ahead or tied a lot of that game against Cincy. Probably won't be the case against KC. I think they make a much better concerted effort to get him the rock, even if, and your point that you made months ago about Tyrod Taylor not jumping it down is well taken, but I still think he's much more involved than last week. I like him here. I'm going to go Eckler.
He'll never have the same catching upside that he did with Rivers, who just going into week 1 for Indianapolis. How many balls did Hines and Mack and Taylor catch? Almost 20?
Mm-hmm.
It's an insane amount. But that doesn't mean he won't catch no passes, right? So I understand why you like him. I won't go here, but I think that a lot of people within the industry will agree with me, which making his ownership, which was not overwhelming last week, but just into the double digits, I'm sure takes a big hit this week.
100%.
All right, Allen Robinson versus Robert Woods. I like both of these guys this week. I'm going to go Woods by an eyelash.
I'm going to go Robinson by an eyelash. We're starting to disagree.
Yeah, but I think we all agree they're close, though. So, I mean, that's, the nature of the beast on these. They're supposed to be close. That's where the fun comes from.
Yep.
All right, Mike Evans versus Amari Cooper. I'm going to go Cooper against Atlanta, but I don't like picking against Evans this week. I kind of expect the show from Tampa Bay here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel the exact same way. I'm going to go Cooper, but I don't feel like I don't get warm and fuzzies picking it.
All right, so DJ Moore, he had 9 targets last week. Didn't do a ton with him. I think he was like 4 for 56 or something like that. Will Fuller in a much harder matchup. But the thing that was really encouraging for Fuller was hearing all about how the Texans run everything through their number one wideout, and he is a clear-cut number one wideout for them. So I will go Fuller on this one, knowing that they're going to have to throw it.
Yeah, I mean, and also if you expect the Ravens to be up in this game, they're going to have to throw. So give me Fuller here on volume.
I expect the Ravens to be up in every game unless they're playing Kansas City.
Fair enough.
I haven't looked at their schedule. I just think they're the second best team in football. So unless I have a reason to believe otherwise, that's how I'm going to approach the season for the most of it. So next up, my boy Marquise Brown versus your boy Mark Andrews. Who catches the touchdowns? I mean, this is kind of like, does Marquise Brown catch a big touchdown catch or not? To me, is how you decide who wins this one. So I'm going to go with Brown gets it, but I don't want to pick this because I feel very strongly Andrews scores again this week.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Andrews is just a safer play. I'm going to go there.
Yep. Andrews is weird because he's definitely more my guy, whereas Brown's the home run hitter. But I think as much as I like Andrews, you're a slightly bigger fan. But you also like Brown. I just think I like him a little more.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a slightly bigger Andrew fan, and you're a slightly bigger Brown fan. Exactly.
Even though Andrews plays my kind of fantasy and Marquise Brown's your kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, A.J. Brown versus DJ Chark. Give me A.J. Brown. He's going to hit a big one this week.
Yeah, definitely A.J. Brown here.
Todd Gurley versus Kenyon Drake.
Drake for me.
It's a tight one. I'm going to go Gurley. I didn't watch enough of that game, but I felt like Atlanta struggled to capitalize on all their yardage. But Gurley is still a monster in the red zone. Give me Gurley.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Scary Terry McLaurin versus Marvin Jones Jr. I'll take Scary Terry.
Yeah, I'll take Scary Terry as well. Although, yeah, I don't love it though.
All right, John Brown versus David Johnson. I like the spot for Brown better, but I feel like I'm going to be eating crow on David Johnson. He looked phenomenal week one. It's a tough matchup, but give me David Johnson.
Give me Johnson on volume alone.
Yeah, he looked good. He definitely looked like he took out the last couple years of not being himself. And whatever he did in the offseason, it was just one game, but he looked good.
100% with you.
T.Y. Hilton against Minnesota, Zach Ertz against the Rams. I almost never like picking Hilton because he's so boomer bust, but I have no respect for the Minnesota cornerbacks at this point. Give me T.Y.
Sweet, give me T.Y.
Keenan versus Montgomery. Montgomery.
Yeah, don't trust Tyrod Taylor. Give me Montgomery.
My thoughts are, I liked Montgomery was banged up a little bit last week. He's a week healthier. Also, I don't expect Chicago to get down by 17 points or whatever it is. I think that they are going to run the ball a little bit more effectively, and I think Montgomery scores this week. So we'll move over to Sterling Shepard against Evan Ingram. I think it's about time, and this is a guy who had Ingram on a bunch of fantasy teams the last couple of years. I got to see more from Evan Ingram before I really pick him on anything. Give me Sterling Shepard.
Give me Shepard, too.
All right, Melvin Gordon or Mark Ingram. I heard the Broncos think the Lindsey thing is mild, so he seems to be firmly questionable to me. If Lindsey's out, give me Gordon. If Lindsey's in, give me Ingram.
I agree with that assessment.
You know, it seemed to, I don't know, I know you're on the East Coast, so it was hard to stay up for the whole game. It didn't really matter because Lindsey was out for the second half. It seems to be like a full-on timeshare there.
Yeah, I imagine that they both get a lot of looks and a lot of touches, and they eat into each other.
Right, and I think they're comparable talent-wise. I mean, I can have my opinions, you can have yours, but there's no clear-cut who's better in that one, in my opinion.
I don't disagree with that.
So, yeah, okay. I've seen a lot of this slate pretty similarly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you could definitely make the argument Lindsey's better at this point. Gordon's just more paid.
I do, yeah. I was wondering what they were going to do in the red zone. And Lindsey had the first goal line carry, if I remember correctly.
I feel like
he got hurt.
The time he was in, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like, I was actually like paying attention / watching at that point. And again, I don't know, but it seemed like that was like his drive or his, you know what I mean? I don't know, whatever.
Well, it looked like Gordon instantly went into the doghouse after the fumble, which you can do. Doesn't mean that it won't be Lindsey fumbling this week and Gordon, getting the love or something like that. But when you have two running backs that are pretty similar as far as talent level goes, if one of them fumbles right away and you're in a tight game, it's really easy to go with the other one.
For sure. I mean, yeah. Lindsey's a guy they've had, known, and trust also.
Yeah, plus you just got to like the character of that young man.
Agreed.
Definitely, guys. All right, man. This is Overlay. Don't forget about the promotions we brought up early on. All you got to do is make the deposit, screenshot, send it to me. My email's listed below. Most of you guys know how to find me on Twitter, Facebook, whatever it might be. But, get a free membership by just putting more money in that you can double up with.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, take care.